I'd like to call the regular East China School District regular Board of Education meeting for Monday, January 27th, 2020 to order. Could we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tina Thrift.
Good evening. It's time for our annual ceremonial oath. Can I have everybody stand behind the chair? Raise your right hand and please repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of this office
the duties of this office
as a member of the Board of Education
as a member of the Board of Education
of East China School District,
of East China School District,
St. Clair County, Michigan,
St. Clair County, Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you. At this time, we will do the election of officers. Do I have a nomination for the office of president?
I'd like to nominate Jeannie Frank.
I second.
Any discussion? Any other nominations? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Mrs. President Frank, I'll pass this back to you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
At this time, I would like nominations for the office of vice president, please.
I would like to nominate Pat Bebock.
Support. Do I have any other nominations? Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Vice President, Mrs. Pat Bebock. I now need a nomination for the position of treasurer.
I'd like to nominate Amy Murphy.
Support.
Any other nominations? Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, Mrs. Murphy's treasurer. And last but not least, I need a nomination for the position of secretary.
I'd like to nominate Lynn Griefor.
Support.
Are there any other nominations? Any discussion? Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Mrs. Lynn Griefor is the secretary. Thank you very much for your support. The next item on our agenda is items of interest, recognition, and inquiry. Board of Education members, do you have anything? No.
I'll just remind everybody about the Chili Heart 5K for the East China Education Foundation coming up on February 8th, a couple weeks from now. Hope we get a lot of runners there.
Okay. Anybody else? Mrs. Sibula.
I just want to take a moment to thank all of our school board members for their service to East China School District. It is not an easy job, and I appreciate all of the time and effort and heart that you put into this job. With January being School Board Member Recognition Month, I just want to make sure that each of you is recognized and feels appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, the next item is special recognition. Do I read this?
That would be Mr.
Mr. Miller?
Miller.
Mr. Miller, okay.
Good evening, Mrs. Sibula, President Frank. The governor has declared January 2020 as School Board Member Appreciation Month. We are very fortunate in East China to have such a dedicated group of individuals to serve as board members in our district. Board members serve without compensation. Yes, they serve without compensation. That is true dedication. On behalf of the staff, parents, students, and community, it's my pleasure to thank each board member for their years of service to our community. Mrs. Becker is going to help recognize you with a book which will subsequently be donated to one of our school media centers. I recognize Mrs. Frank for 7 years of service. Mrs. Murphy, 7 years of service. Mr. Distelrath, 5 years of service. Mrs. Bebuck, 5 years of service. Ms. Griefor, 3 years of service. Mrs. Cedar, 1 year of service.
Thank you.
And Mr. Westrick, 1 year of service. Truly, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we will move into the Fall Athletic Awards with Mr. Rutledge and Mr. Moreau.
Good evening, President Frank, Superintendent Sibula. It is my pleasure to honor some of our fine athletes at Marine City High School this evening. We're going to start with varsity football. Our football team this year was the Max Silva District champions. We also have our co-champions for the varsity boys tennis. And let's start with our athletes. Matthew Maliski, All League, All Region, number 4 on the MC leaderboard, MAC All Academic. Connor Uplegger, All League. McKenna Morse, All League, MAC All Academic. Alyssa Poloff, All League and MAC All Academic. Moving on to varsity football, we have Josh Headley, first team All League, All State, and MAC All Academic. Angelo Patsalis, first team All League, All State, MAC All Academic. Aaron Soph, first team All League, MAC All Academic. Charles Tigert, first team All League, All State, MAC All Academic. Wesley Uplegger, first team, All League, All State, and MAC All Academic. Kobe Walker, first team, All League, and MAC All Academic. Mason Walker, first team, All League, MAC All Academic. And our very own Ron Glodich, MAC Silver Coach of the Year, Regional Coach of the Year. I'd like to congratulate Ron Glodich on his retirement. Moving on to varsity boys tennis. We have Gavin Collins, All League, and MAC All Academic. Luke Collins, All League, and MAC All Academic. Aubrey Comment, All League, MAC Blue MVP, and MAC All Academic. Timothy DeSnyder, All League, and MAC All Academic. Connor Heslop, All League, MAC All Academic. Tyler Simpson, All League, MAC All Academic. Moving on to varsity volleyball, we have Elizabeth Coverdale, All League, school records, most blocks in a game, 19, most kills in a match, 17, and of course, MAC All Academic. We have Morgan McConnell, All League, MAC All Academic. I'd like to congratulate all Marine City athletes, and here's Mr. Rutledge.
Thank you, Mr. Maru. Congratulations to all the Mariners. And now for the St. Clair teams. Varsity boys tennis were MAC Red champions. They finished 4th place in the state in Division III, and it was their 22nd straight year qualifying for the state tournament. Varsity girls volleyball were MAC Gold champions. Varsity boys cross country, state qualifiers, a D2 record 20th straight year in the state meet. They finished 15th in Division II, and they also were recognized as a team as Academic All-State. Now for our individuals with cross country, Lucas Danko, MAC White All Conference and All Academic. Raymond Hill, MAC White All Conference, All Academic. Andrew Parr, MAC White All Conference, All Region, All Academic. Jack Pennywell, MAC White All Conference, All Region, All Academic, and Jack ran the 4th fastest time in St. Clair history. Cameron Land, MAC White All Conference. Girls cross country, MAC White All Conference, All Region and All Academic. Sorry, that's Kennedy Hollerack. Caitlin Jaloski, MAC White All Conference, All Region, All Academic. Annalise Lamontagne, MAC White All Conference, All Academic. And Ava Pergatoni, MAC White All Conference, All Region, All Academic. And the coach of our girls cross country team, Coach Jessica McDonald, was the MAC White Coach of the Year. On to football, Brady Gleason, MAC Silver All Conference, All Academic. Evan Kruski, MAC Silver All Conference, All State Honorable Mention, All Academic. Joe Phillips, MAC Silver All Conference, All Academic. River Palumbo, MAC Silver All Conference, All Academic. Brandon Ruba, MAC Silver All Conference, All Academic. Austin Schweiger, MAC Silver All Conference, All Academic. Girls Golf, Riley Melcharzik, MAC Blue All Conference, All Academic. And Larissa Thorpe, MAC Blue All Conference, All Academic. Varsity girls swim, Kara George, all county, Mac Red honorable mention, all academic. Emma Lamb, all county, Mac Red honorable mention, all academic. Elena Laster, all county, Mac Red first team, all state, all academic. Jessica Diller, all county, Mac Red honorable mention, state qualifier, all academic. Haley Stockwell, all county, all academic. On to boys soccer, Cameron Dungis, Mac Gold all conference, all district, all academic. Zach McCullum, all district, all academic. Reed Packin, Mac Gold all conference, all district, all academic. Nathan Williams, all district, all academic. Ethan Peckman, Mac Gold all conference, all academic. On to boys tennis, Derek Distelrath, Mac Red most valuable player, all area, all state, all academic. Michael Mascarin, Mac Red all conference, all area, all academic. Eli Pino, Mac Red all conference, all area, all state, all academic. Ian Pino, Mac Red all conference, all area, all academic. Hadley Schwartz, Mac Red all conference, all area, all state, and all academic. And that is, by the way, on boys tennis. In the state of Michigan, girls can play boys tennis. And so Hadley was competing against the boys in the Mac Red and excelled against the boys. So it's even more impressive. Quinn Swartz, Mac Red all conference, all area, all state, all academic. And Coach Dave Klutz, Mac Red and Regional Coach of the Year. On to volleyball, Anna Allington, Mac Gold, all conference. Allie Fosher, Mac Gold, all conference, all academic. Olivia Jovanovic, Mac Gold most valuable player, Mac Gold all conference, all academic. Lauren Roselle, Mac Gold all conference, all academic. And our head coach, Michelle Achatz, Mac Gold Coach of the Year. Congratulations to all of you from both schools. Mr. Headley would like to get a picture, so please get your smiles ready.
Woo, pack in. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Let's turn sideways, face this left shoulder. Yeah, that way. Good. Left shoulder. There we go. Squeeze in as much as you can.
Time's up. If athletes and parents would like to leave at this time, we invite you to do so.
Okay, so this is the order I'm going in.
I know. Lucas
I
was right
wasn't
in front of
taking a
me. It was
chance.
great.
And you know, I reread through this. Okay. He's supposed to state his name.
I bet he didn't know either. That's how I feel some days.
And keep your comments to 5 minutes. Well, this says 5. Oh, yeah, I'm just over it.
I'll get my timer ready.
And then we go on. Oh, we'll be done by then.
Okay, so we will continue with our agenda. Number 6, Academic Spotlight. Mr. Ron Miller, St. Clair High School.
Mrs. Sibula, Mrs. Frank, members of the board. Sorry that I'm bothering you yet again, but
No,
this is really,
not at all.
this is really a cool thing. 2 years ago, I had the greatest truly, that's not the way it is. A couple years ago, I was approached by Lisa Higgins and Deb Roshak and Lisa Kane and Jenny Luna, kind of simultaneously talking to me about an opportunity for our regular ed students and special education students to work together. A lot of coordinated effort, ended up with an excellent program. We refer to it as the Links Peer-to-Peer Program. With me, I have Lisa Higgins and Christy Nichols, part of the staff, and I have Maddie Griefor and Christian DeWolf. I'm hoping that they'll introduce themselves when they come up, but I wanted to make sure to acknowledge them. We've got a nice presentation for you. I will get out of the way and let them take over.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I wanted to give you a little bit of background on the Links or peer-to-peer program and how it originated in the state of Michigan, just to kind of give you a frame of reference. The Links or peer-to-peer program was first developed by Grand Valley State University as a program to support students with autism spectrum disorder in school. The intent of the program was to match a regular education student up with a special education student in the classroom to provide positive social support, academic support, and friendship. It has evolved into a program that can support any special education student, no matter the disability. And the program has been adopted by the Michigan Department of Education as a credit-bearing opportunity for students in high schools. So students can earn, the regular education students can earn 2 full credits of elective credit by participating in the program and doing the coursework or curriculum that's associated with it. So we identify our students, the helper students are our links, and the students they're matched up with, that they're helping, are our peer students. And our link students come from grades 10 through 12, and they self-identify, they fill out an application. We have not had to turn any student away, so any student who chooses to become a link has that opportunity. The staff that kind of coordinates the program, we've got some in the picture up there. The adult support staff, we have St. Clair High School teacher, Miss Christy Nichols, who handles the online academic component of the program and the support to the links on a daily basis. We have special education teacher, Miss Angela Justa, who couldn't be here tonight. We have our school social worker, Mr. Chris O'Neill, and Mr. Jeff Flynn, who is our special education teacher consultant. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Lisa Kane, like Mr. Miller already mentioned. She was a great support in getting the program off and running. And Jenny Luna, who was our former teacher consultant. They both were instrumental in getting this off the ground. We have a short video that we'd like to show. It's from our first year of the program last year, and hopefully it will fill in some of the blanks for you that I may have missed. So the LINKS program is a program that connects a regular education student and a special education student in the classroom, whether it's in their academic class or one of their elective classes, to give social support, academic support to a student who needs it.
We have target students who are some of our high-functioning kids on the spectrum. Our target students have cognitive impairment. We have some in a wheelchair who have like a trach and stuff, who can't talk very well. We have some students who are learning disabled who are target students. Pretty much we've tried to expand it to just about everyone we can.
The interaction between our regular education population and our special education population is totally improved. Both students, the LINKS and the peers, have benefited from the LINKS program. It's really great.
My favorite part is the overall experience. It's good to see all the kids being happy. When you walk into the classroom, it just lights up their faces.
I think it's a little more like complex than what I thought it would be. Like I thought it would be more or less I just sit next to them and I help them along the way, where like I guess for me it was more like changing to like I expected just to help him with like everything in the class, where it's more like helping him with social life and being a good person to other people and like sitting down doing his work and focusing instead of just like helping him do the work.
It's been a great encouragement for Sean. It's given him some independence and some ability to interact with a whole lot of different people, a lot more confidence. As a parent, it's fun to see him interact with other students other than just the ones that are directly in his classes.
I've noticed a big change in the student that I work with. He would be very controlled as far as who he would talk to, what he would talk about. Since he started working with his LINK, they joke around, they carry on conversations, they discuss all kinds of things. He's just become so much more social, so much more relaxed.
When it comes to the LINKS program and how it's really affected my children that are directly involved in my family in general, the thing that I would say struck me the most from the very beginning of the school year was how much conversation happened every night in my house. So the two children that are involved with LINKS would come home and talk about things that happened either in the classroom or outside activities. It became a whole discussion with our whole family about people and how they come from different experiences and they have different strengths and different weaknesses, and how if we work together, it can really improve everyone's life.
Our LINKS program is made up of multiple students from different backgrounds, from different academic achievement areas, I guess you'd say, and it's a cross-section of students at St. Clair High School. Any student who has an open heart and wants to help others. So it's really not just for those wanting to be teachers. We have a wide variety of students. We have students who love school and love academics, and we have other students who maybe school isn't their number one priority, but they have a big heart and they like to help others, and there's a match for everybody.
Hi, I'm Christy Nichols. I am the teacher of record. I'm a general ed teacher, and I'm going to give you a little bit of background and information about how it works, how the LINKS program works at St. Clair High School. So we do start with a summer planning training time where the LINKS come in and we teach them the hows and the whys, and it ends with the LINKS meeting their peers with lunch. We also have monthly trainings where we have special topics like medium of exchange and some guest speakers. Let's see, I wanted to also tell you a little bit about the numbers that we have. Last year we had 44 LINKS and 22 peers. This year we have 44 LINKS with 24 peers, so that's 68 students total that are affected. 19 classroom teachers have a LINK in their classroom, and that's over 30 sections or classes a day. We had a wonderful end of the year celebration that we invited the peers, the LINKS, and the families, and had a nice celebration of our successes. I wanted to also share with you some of the curriculum items because it is an elective and they get the LINKS students get credit. I have a unique challenge because I don't see these LINKS students on a daily basis because they're in the classroom with their peer. So there's an online content, there's online curriculum that they earn the elective credit. I am the liaison between the classroom teacher, and I'm the one that grades and assesses the online content. It is state approved, as Lisa said. We use Google Classroom mainly, and they have to reflect, read articles, watch videos, write journals, take quizzes. And then this year I had to revamp it because there's first year LINKS and second year LINKS, so we can't have the LINKS from last year, doing the same content, so there's two different courses. Let's see what else I was going to tell you. We also hold monthly case conferences, one per peer student per month, so that's 24 case conference meetings that we have where we discuss positives as well as any concerns, and then we problem solve to help with those concerns. That's a great picture too. And these are some of the quotes that both our LINKS and our peers have told us. During seminar socials, we found that students had a hard time getting to know each other because they were in class with each other and they didn't want to talk when they shouldn't be. So we've come up with seminar socials, which we have once a month during our seminar time, that the LINKS and the peers can get together and just be social. And of course, we always have food or a snack of some sort, and usually a focused activity that usually is based on like the holiday of the month or the season. And I had a whole bunch of other things I wanted to say, but I'm pretty sure that kind of sums it up. Just a couple more pictures here that you can see the LINKS working with their peers. I would like to introduce to you Maddie Griefor, who is a LINK for the second year, and Christian DeWolf, who is a peer.
Hello, everyone. Like Ms. Nichols said, I am a second-year LINK at St. Clair High School. I just wanted to say how much this program has truly impacted me, and it's just been one of the best experiences of my high school. So I'm going to ask Christian a few questions about the LINKS program. Christian, what is your favorite thing about the LINKS program?
When they help people with their work.
How does your LINK help you during class?
By helping get my work on time.
And what's your favorite thing that your LINK has taught you throughout the year?
Always help people.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Are there any questions?
What a great program.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's
It's
amazing. All the
amazing.
teachers, all the extra time that you take, thanks to Maddie and Christian. Just a great program. I love it.
We do too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can
Thank
tell.
you.
Lisa,
Thank you.
do you know, is there something similar happening in some of the elementary buildings on a more casual
Informal.
scale?
So I know that Lisa Kane has taken the links, the joy of links, and has tried to implement it in some of the elementary schools. We have some high school students I know that volunteer to go over after school, after our school day, to work with students. And I know that they have like a lunchtime kind of buddy link program as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, the next item on our agenda is the consent agenda. A motion is needed for the approval of minutes from the regular Board of Education meeting, December 16, 2019, approval of the payment of bills, the financial statement, and schedule of investments.
So moved. Support.
Are there any comments or questions? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. The next item on our agenda is recognitions of persons wishing to address the board. This portion of the agenda is for citizens to address any questions or comments to the board. The board will listen, take comments and questions under advisement, and not respond at this time. I will refer questions to the superintendent for research and response. I would also like to just make a mention of our board policy and bylaws. Participants must be recognized by the presiding officer and will be requested to preface their comments by an announcement of their name and address. Please come to the center microphone, and each statement should be limited to 5 minutes. My first screen card is Alan Richley.
Good evening. Here we go again. Higher taxes, more wasteful spending, and the beginning of a long dog and pony show. Voters voted overwhelmingly not once but twice against tax hikes. The superintendent has said that they heard the people. Well, after reviewing your current proposal, you apparently didn't hear a damn thing. In the aftermath of both tax elections, the board has learned nothing.
Excuse me, Mr. Richley. Let's please keep your comments civil, please, without the use of profanity.
After reviewing your current proposal, you apparently, in the aftermath of both tax elections, this board has learned nothing. They have no long-term plan to balance the budget. They have no maintenance plan. They have no budget for technology. No plan B. I've got to hand it to you. Every time I think you can't get more sneaky, every time I think you can't get more underhanded, you rise to the occasion. Information I obtained through a FOIA request to the Department of Treasury reveals that for months you've been planning to sneak an election on the March ballot. Nice try. Even with the stonewalling from the superintendent and her assistant, you couldn't hide this one. In 2018, the superintendent received a nice bump in pay. Most schools in our district do not have air conditioning, yet the superintendent
I'd like
and
to
administration...
stop your comments for clarification. I did not receive any increase in pay. I just want to make sure the comments are clear.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And I have your contract right here if we want to look at it. Most schools in our district do not have air conditioning, yet the superintendent and administrative staff in this building not only have air conditioning, but they've had it for a while. While students are suffering in summer and winter with HVAC issues, rest assured, the superintendent is good and comfortable in this building. The board spends tens of thousands of taxpayer money on conferences for board members, or as I like to call them, taxpayer-funded frat parties. You talk about putting students first, but unfortunately that's all it is, talk. The superintendent claims that the school district has a declining budget. That's actually not true. In fact, let's take a look at some numbers. According to the latest school district audit on page 9, it shows an increase in revenue. That's right. Despite declining enrollment of students, the school district budget has increased, and not just a little bit. In 2014, the school district budget was sitting at $39.7 million. In 2015, it increased to $39.9 million. In 2016, $40.3 million. In 2017, $40.7 million, and in 2019, $41.4 million. According to the Michigan Department of Treasury, the East China School District brings in more local tax revenue than any other district. That's an indisputable fact. District leadership still refuses to set aside money for maintenance of buildings and technology. Despite these facts, if that's not a blatant mismanagement of funds, I'm not sure what is. Special interest groups in the last election and in this one are pouring money in from outside the district to raise taxes. The fact is, more than 85% of the total contributions to this local political action committee supporting this tax increase are reported from corporations and political committees. Those are special interests. In fact, over $11,000 of which came from political groups, contractors, lobbyists, and administrative staff. Companies like EnviroClean, Semco Energy, and the MEA Political Action Committee. This does not include the many thousands expended by our tax dollars or from the company the district paid to lobby this as well. Less than 15% came from individual contributors, according to information obtained through a FOIA to the St. Clair County Clerk's Office. I don't doubt the sincerity of those parents pushing this tax increase, but I do question the motives of the leadership of this district who are pushing this proposal with special interest money and, yes, our tax dollars. In the last election, the superintendent was quoted in countless places, with those echoing that if we do not vote for a new high school, they would consolidate them anyway. They blasted myself and others, calling us liars for calling their bluff. Well, here we are, almost exactly a year later, and guess what? I hate to say I told you so. That was simply a scare tactic to get people to vote yes. There is an argument on their side that suggests that those of us opposing this massive tax hike are against students, that we don't support education. The truth is, this whole process, this tax proposal, it's a joke. The process was a sham and you know it. It's quite simple after all. We all support students and schools. What we don't support is your continuous mismanagement of funds. What we don't support is your use of children for a political purpose and your failed leadership. Top-level administrators have taken pay raises.
Mr. Richley, your 5 minutes are up. Please step aside. My next green card is Jeff Cook. Yes.
Members of the board, thank you. I am here tonight to address much of what we just heard, which is not factual, and it is based in untruths, misleading tales, and stories that are just not accurate. Mr. Richley likes to use a lot of catchphrases like propaganda meetings, special interest, or special interest corporations. By the way, I live at 4654 Indian Trail. I have a daughter who's a junior at St. Clair High School. That's my special interest, her. Let's see, tens of thousands. He uses this term all the time, but can never equate what that tens of thousands is. He even at one point said the district spent $100,000 trying to pass a bond. That is a lie. Let's see, he talks about administrative wages, uses terms like pet projects, payback for donations. This is an all-out assault on open, honest, transparent government. You might want to question my motives, but why are they so afraid of facts and an opposing viewpoint? Well, Mr. Richley doesn't listen to opposing viewpoints. He blocks and deletes those people. He doesn't listen to what they have to say. He doesn't respond articulately. He just blocks, deletes, and makes stuff up. Saying he's going to continue to focus on facts while everything else that's going on is garbage. Talking about the big fat raise that the superintendent got. Ms. Cybula makes $140K a year. The average in the state of Michigan for a superintendent is $163,000. Let me speak real quickly on the other jobs that he called into question, like Craig Headley, who works unbelievably amount of hours in this district, who makes about $80K. The average in the state is $103K. Tina Thrift, who is busy in the business office all the time, makes about $90,000 a year. The average in her position, $110,000. Dave Simpson, who probably is here 355 days a year, makes a whopping $52,000 a year. The average is $96,000. Kirk Rozelka, who is our director of operations, he makes $81,000, and the average is $117,000. Lindsay Grange, who is our director of curriculum, she makes about $92,000. The average is $95,000. Dawn Demick, who is our assistant superintendent, she makes about $95K, and the average is $110K. Suzanne Sibula, again, makes $140K, and the average is $163. As you can see, every one of those top-line administrative jobs makes less than the average. Yet we have to take this coming from an individual that missed board meetings, lots of board meetings when he sat up here. An individual who chose to set out a meeting in October of 2016 to stay home to watch the Republican National Convention instead of doing his duty as a board member for the East China School District. An individual who says that he's attended Michigan State University, that he has degrees that he doesn't have. These are the things that we're supposed to listen to that go out and taint our community about what the truth is. Talks about things like when it comes to local property tax revenue, we bring in more than any other local district. You're right, we do. But that's not how schools are funded. It doesn't matter how much we bring in. We get an allotment for the state per student. That's it. Doesn't matter that DTE creates more money. It doesn't make any more money for this district. He likes to put things in vacuums, like the money that we get from DTE and how our $41 million has come about and how we've continued to have our allotments increased by the state, when in fact, those allotments have increased because the state's increased the per pupil amount. Tax value may have gone up. What he doesn't do in that vacuum is talk about the increase in costs to the district for retirement, for benefits, for curriculum, for teacher steps on the salary. Again, puts it in a vacuum, throws it out there using terms like tens of thousands. They have openly admitted that the only solution they will ever have is to raise taxes to fix the buildings. This has never been said by the district. I sat in a meeting last week at St. Clair High School that he tried to take over and was shut down, thankfully. And then after the meeting, which he recorded, he put a bunch of untruths and non-factual information on a post on Facebook, and he didn't post the meeting that he recorded because had he posted it, it would have caught him up in his own web of lies. So I impart on people of the district to please get your factual information by attending meetings, by doing the research yourself, and not relying on somebody who's got a political agenda, who is not a property owner in our district, who has no children in our district, and would love nothing better than to see another millage go down. He didn't like the last millage because it involved a new school. Now he's complaining about the new millage because it doesn't involve a new school. He's all over the place. Every time he speaks, he's all over the place. He doesn't tell the truth. He exaggerates. He creates misunderstandings. He creates enemies. He causes disenfranchisement between the board and the public, which is unfair, unwarranted, and not needed. Please, I ask people of our district to spend the time to find out the real facts and address the facts based on what is true, what is accurate, and then go and vote. If you vote yes or you vote no, at least do it knowing that you've done your homework, you've gotten factual information, and you can vote with a clear conscience knowing what the truth is. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. And really, all the Board of Education can ask the public is to please get the facts, the truth. Our next green card is Terry Mullane.
Good evening. On a little less contentious note, I would just like to say hello and thank you for all of your work that you do in this very troubling time. I know you guys have a lot of tough decisions to make. So on behalf of the East China Education Association, I would like to thank the board and recognize you for School Board Appreciation Month. We just have a little note that we wrote in here that I'd like to give each of you.
Thank you, Terry. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Mullane. I have one more green card, Christy Nichols.
Me again.
Hi.
Members of the ECEA were asked to share extraordinary and exciting things that have been happening in the classrooms for the month of January. On behalf of the teachers, I'd like to share them with you. Amanda Volz at St. Clair High School shared with us. Each year, the students in her financial management class participate in a simulation called Budget Challenge. Budget Challenge is a 10-week simulation that teaches real-world money management skills such as managing credit, maintaining a checking account, and investing in a 401k. This year, Matthew Tenniswood was the winner at St. Clair High School. He will be awarded a $5,000 scholarship from the St. Clair Community Foundation. Congrats, Matthew.
Great. Congratulations.
Brooke Nowakowski at St. Clair Middle School shared with us. She said, Nicole Flynn and I received 2 grants to take St. Clair Middle School 8th graders to the DIA on a Spanish art field trip. Since the DIA grant covered our entire trip, we decided to share the other one, and Lori Hannon and Kim Burkhart will be able to use our second grant from Michigan Youth Arts to take their 7th grade ancient history students to the DIA as well and focus on ancient art. Laura McDonald from St. Clair Middle School says, the St. Clair Middle School Student Council adopts an animal each year as part of our Michigan Green School Initiative. This year, students voted on the koala. Due to the devastation of fires in Australia, we just completed a Spirit Week focused lunchtime activities to build awareness of our animal, as well as collecting donations used to contribute to help rehabilitate koalas and get them ready for a return to the wild. Gearing Elementary. Gearing students, artists will have their work on display at the 52nd Annual Beatrice Thornton Art Show at SC4 from February 3rd to the 15th. Marnie Williams at Marine City High School. The Marine City High School Art Department has been awarded an Arts and Culture Trek grant for the 2019-20 school year from the Michigan Youth Arts Organization. Marine City High School art students will be heading out to the Detroit Institute of Arts in the spring. Barb Smith at Marine City Middle School says 6th grade science classes are studying rocks, and they had the opportunity to see a few samples of the newly discovered Uperlite rocks that Mrs. Smith found in the Upper Peninsula. The students observed the glowing samples under a black light and then made inferences about what the rocks was causing them to glow. For those of you wondering, it's an I looked this one up. Igneous rock rich in fluorescent sodalite. James McCullough, Melanie Bocano, Katie Van Hammy, and Amanda Deach from Marine City High School shared this. ELA 9 students traveled to the Holocaust Memorial in Farmington Hills on Thursday, January 16th. Students were able to hear from a living survivor and were moved by their stories of heroism and perseverance. Students also toured the museum and learned a great deal about the Holocaust and about speaking up for those who are persecuted. Diane Trout Davidson at Bell Elementary. She said, we read different versions of stone soup. We then made a crock pot of stone soup. Everyone got to help with the prep. We all tried it and we graphed if we liked it or not. And finally, Scott Fryer at St. Clair Middle School shared with us 26 St. Clair Middle School 7th and 8th grade band students traveled to Rochester High on Saturday, January 25th to perform at MSBOA Solo and Ensemble. These students prepared music on their own and performed for a music judge along with 800 other students from around the area. All St. Clair Middle School performers earned either a first or second division ratings at their events, overall grades of A's and B's. Way to go, band students. That's all.
Thank you so much. Okay, the next item on our agenda is close. I'm sorry, you're out of line. You did not fill out a green card. I'm sorry. It's not our board policy. Thank you. Our next item on our agenda is closed session for the purpose of discussing student disciplinary action. After we get back from closed session, I just want to make a note. We will then move down to our item number 13 on our agenda, board action agenda items, the adoption of the 2019-20 general fund cafeteria latchkey student activity budget, and then we will adjourn. So at this time, I need a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of the disciplinary action, please.
So moved. Support.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Mrs. Cedar, if you're in favor, please
Yes.
signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Westrick?
Aye.
Mrs. Murphy?
Yes.
Mrs. Bebock?
Yes.
Mrs. Creefor?
Yes.
Mr. Disselrath?
Yes.
Okay, then motion is carried. At this time, we will go into closed session.